Good morning, dear students. In today's session, we will discuss about amines objective portions. Okay, so amines is the smallest chapter which is present in your syllabus. You may get one or two questions from this chapter for objective. So first, we'll discuss about IUPAC nomenclature. So there are two different types of nomenclature which are used to give names for different types of organic compounds. Among two types, the most important and universally accepted system is nothing but IUPAC system or IUPAC nomenclature. So according to this IUPAC nomenclature, these amines are named as alkanamines. Amines according to IUPAC system has named as alkanamines. So here the suffix is amine and it is added to the root word alkane. So in alkane, in general we will write alkane as like this. In alkanes, the suffix E is replaced by amine. Then those are said to be IUPAC names of amines. Okay, in alkanes, if the suffix E is replaced by amine, then that can give about the IUPAC names of amines, which is known as alkanamine. Okay, now we will write amines IUPAC names. Here I have taken few examples. So based on this name, we will try to write the names of these amines. So firstly, CH3NH2 I have taken. So here CH3, which is containing only one carbon, then in place of alkane we will write methane. Okay, then its name methane, where you should not write E. Methane plus amine, we will call it as methanamine. Okay, in root word or in the parent chain, if two carbon atoms are there, then the root word is ethane plus amine, ethanamine. Okay, next, here if you observe, on the nitrogen atom, two alkyl groups are present. If on the nitrogen only one alkyl group is present, then that is called primary amine. On the nitrogen, if only one alkyl group is present, that is called primary amine. On the nitrogen, even here only one carbon is directly attached, then that is said to be primary amine. But on this nitrogen, two alkyl groups are present, this side one and this side one, then that is said to be secondary amine. In the same manner, when nitrogen is attached with three alkyl groups, then that is said to be tertiary amines. To the nitrogen, if three alkyl groups are attached, then that is said to be tertiary amine. You just keep that in mind. So based on that also there is a chance to ask a question. Now we'll try to write the name of this secondary amine. So when secondary amine or tertiary amine is given, whatever the carbon chain is containing, maximum number of carbons, that has to be considered as the parent chain. But in this case, both the carbons are, both the alkyl groups containing same number of carbons, that is only one, and here also one. So then it is said to be, then we have to consider one as the parent chain, other as the substituent. Okay, now the substituent, if you consider this as substituent, the substituent is attached to nitrogen, then that is called as N-methyl. Okay, N-methyl. This methyl is attached to methanamine. N-methyl methanamine. Okay, we will call it as N-methyl methanamine. In the same manner, the next example is also containing two alkyl groups on the nitrogen. Consider one as substituent because both are containing same number of carbons. So now what is this alkyl group? Ethyl. Now ethyl is attached to nitrogen. Then we will call it as N-ethyl ethanamine. Okay, N-ethyl ethanamine. Okay, like that we will write. So now we will see the next one. So this is only one carbon chain attached to the nitrogen. So this nitrogen attached carbon has to be taken as first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Okay, totally 4 carbons are there, then it is called butane. Butane is attached to amine, we will call it as butanamine or 1-butanamine. Okay, next one, see here. So in this case, nitrogen is attached to two alkyl groups. Okay, consider the smallest carbon chain as the side chain. Okay, this becomes the side chain. Now give numbering to the other carbon chain. So to the nitrogen containing carbon, it should get the less number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now amine is attached to the third carbon atom. So this alkyl group becomes the side chain. First write down that side chain. What is the side chain? Ethyl. Ethyl is attached to nitrogen. So we will call it as N-ethyl. Okay. Now nitrogen is attached to third carbon of this hexane. We will call it as 3-hexanamine or hexane 3-amine. Hexane 3-amine or 3-hexanamine. We will write like this. If NH2 is attached to second carbon atom, then we can call it as N-ethyl 2-hexanamine. Okay, like that we will represent about the name. Now we'll see one more example. Here this nitrogen is an example of tertiary amine because the nitrogen is attached with 1, 2, 3 alkyl groups. Okay, then it is said to be tertiary amine. So now we'll see how to write name for tertiary amine. See, among the 3 alkyl groups, you just see which one is having more number of carbons. This alkyl group is having more number of carbon atoms, and these two are having less number. Here only 1 carbon is there and here 2 carbons are there. Consider these two as the side chain. Now this is one side chain which is known as methyl, and this is second side chain which is known as ethyl. Now according to alphabetical order, you just arrange them while writing the name. According to alphabetical order, this comes first, E comes first. So we have to write ethyl name first, followed by methyl name. Now ethyl and methyl both are attached to nitrogen. Then we will write N-ethyl, N-methyl. Now these two are attached to 1, 2, 3. This is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon. Okay, this is called propane amine. N-ethyl, N-methyl, propanamine. Okay, like that we will write the IUPAC name. Now we'll see this one. Okay, so here to the nitrogen atom you can observe 4 alkyl groups are attached. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 alkyl groups are attached. If 4 alkyl groups at a time are attached, then that is said to be quaternary ammonium salt. So now we'll try to write the name of this quaternary ammonium salt. Total number of methyl groups are 4. Okay, and 4 methyl groups are present, then we will call it as tetramethyl ammonium hydroxide. Tetramethyl ammonium hydroxide. Now we'll see for the another one. Okay, this is not benzene, this is cyclohexane. So this is cyclohexane. So now to the cyclohexane, ethyl group is attached, and on the nitrogen 2 alkyl groups are attached. Now this is ethyl and this is propyl. This is ethyl and this is propyl. So now ethyl is present on cyclohexane, that is on first carbon, second carbon. Then we will write 2-ethyl. Okay, 2-ethyl. On nitrogen, which group is present? Propyl. N-propyl, 2-ethyl, N-propyl, and this amine is attached to the cyclohexane. So N-2-ethyl, N-propyl, cyclohexanamine. Okay, like that we will write names for even cyclic compounds. This is about the IUPAC nomenclature. Here I have taken few typical examples to write about IUPAC names, and you want to practice as many as possible by taking few other examples. Okay, now we'll see the next topic. So our next topic is about Hofmann's method, that is preparations of amines. So there are many preparations to synthesize these amines. In that we will discuss today only few important preparation methods of amines. In that the first one is Hofmann's method. So in this this is not Hofmann bromamide method, it is just Hofmann's method. We can also call it as reaction with alkyl halide. Okay, reaction with alkyl halide. Amine undergo or ammonia undergo reaction with alkyl halide can give different types of amines followed by quaternary ammonium salt. So that reaction is called Hofmann's reaction. It is just Hofmann's reaction but not Hofmann's bromamide reaction. So in this Hofmann's reaction, first alkyl halide react with ammonia on heating. First it loses hydrogen halide. Okay, by losing that HX, R is directly attached to NH2, we will get primary amine. This is called primary amine, because on nitrogen only one alkyl group is present. Still, due to having hydrogens on the nitrogen atom, 1 more mole of alkyl halide is heated with the primary amine. Again, the hydrogen, I am writing this hydrogen separately on the nitrogen. Again, this hydrogen react with the halogen, eliminates as HX. Now what is left? R group. So that R group is added to the nitrogen. Then we will get R here, NH. Now this NH is added to one more R. We will get secondary amine. Because on nitrogen, 2 alkyl groups are present, then it is called secondary amine. Now still the secondary amine is having hydrogen on the nitrogen. Again it undergo reaction with one more mole of alkyl halide. So then again it loses HX. Directly R group is attached to the nitrogen. So then we will get R, N, R, R. R we can also call it as R3N. So on nitrogen, if 3 alkyl groups are present, then that is called tertiary amine. Now nitrogen is containing lone pair of electrons. Understand? So it is ready to accept an electrophile. So whenever you break the bond here, what happens? Halogen will get the negative charge, alkyl group get the positive charge. This R plus can act as an electrophile. This electrophile is added to the lone pair of electrons present on the nitrogen. Then already this nitrogen is containing 3 R groups. By adding one more R, it becomes RO, R4N, and nitrogen gets the positive charge because of losing electrons. And thereby this positively charged quaternary ammonium ion attracts this X minus, because it is oppositely charged with this. Then we will get quaternary ammonium salt. This is called quaternary ammonium salt, and this reaction is called Hoffman's method. Okay, or else we can also consider it as the reaction with alkyl halides. Understand? If you see order of reactivity of alkyl halides towards this reaction, alkyl iodide is more reactive than alkyl bromide, which is more reactive than alkyl chloride. And the next one is ammonolysis of alcohols. To the alcohols, if you add amines or ammonia, then that is said to be ammonolysis of alcohols. So alcohol general formula ROH. When it is added to the ammonia, NH3 is known as ammonia. For our convenience, I have separated one hydrogen here. Understand? So when you do this ammonolysis of alcohols in presence of Al2O3 at 400 degrees Celsius and this 100 atmospheric pressure, this is reaction condition. What happens here? You can observe removal of H2O. OH of alcohol and hydrogen of amine together eliminates as H2O. And what are left here? R group and NH2. They react together to form RNH2, which is nothing but an amine. Which amine it is? Primary amine. Now immediately this primary amine still has hydrogens undergone one more mole of alcohol. So for our convenience, I am separating this hydrogen also. Hydrogen of amine and OH of alcohols again eliminate as H2O. Now what happens? This R group is added to the nitrogen. Then we will get RNHR. So we can also write it as R2NH. This R2NH is known as secondary amine. Still this secondary amine contains a hydrogen, react with one more mole of ROH, that is alcohol. Again it loses H2O. Okay, then R group is added to the nitrogen. Already this nitrogen contains 2 R groups. By adding one more, it becomes R3N, that is nothing but tertiary amines. So like this, different types of compounds or amines are formed whenever alcohol is added by the ammonia, and the process is called ammonolysis of alcohols. Here I have taken phenol. Okay, this is phenol. So this is also one of the hydroxy compound. When phenol react with ammonia, again the same process will be repeated. Hydrogen of ammonia and OH of phenol is reacted together in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 at 300 degrees Celsius, eliminate as water. So what is left? NH2. When this NH2 is added to the benzene ring, then that is called aniline, or benzenamine is formed. We can also commonly call it as aniline. Either aniline or benzenamine is formed as the final product. Now we'll move on to the next preparation method, that is by using reduction. Reduction is nothing but addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. So either by addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen, reduction will takes place to the corresponding nitroalkanes. Okay, to the corresponding nitroalkanes and few other compounds. Finally, they can be converted into amines. Under this reduction, we have different types of chemical reactions. We will discuss one by one. So, first we want to see what are commonly using reducing agents. Metal plus acid. Okay, metal in presence of acid can act as one of the reducing agent. Lithium aluminum hydride is also one of the reducing agent. Sodium borohydride is also one of the reducing agent. Nickel, which is present in hydrogen. Okay, nickel plus Raney nickel plus hydrogen is also said to be reducing agent. Now these are the reducing agents which we can use commonly for the preparation of amines by using nitroalkanes, cyanides, amides, aldehydes, etc. Okay, for reduction of reduction purpose we can use these as the reducing agents. Now we will see reduction reactions one by one. So the first one is from nitroalkanes. Okay, nitroalkanes is nothing but RNO2. This is generally represented by RNO2. When these nitroalkanes undergo reduction, that is addition of hydrogen in presence of tin and HCl. Tin and HCl is also one of the reducing agent. Tin is a metal, HCl is a acid. So this is a combination of metal plus acid. In presence of this reducing agents, hydrogen is added to the nitroalkane and converts into this amine. Okay, you can here see two oxygens are present. To remove two oxygens, total number of hydrogens required here are 6. In that 6, 4 hydrogens take these two oxygens, eliminate as 2H2O. Still 2 more hydrogens are present. Those two are added to the nitrogen, converts into RNH2. What is this RNH2? That is nothing but amine. Okay, amine is formed as the final product. When nitroalkane undergo reduction in presence of metal and acid, we will get the amine. So next reduction reaction is Mendeus reaction. In this Mendeus reaction, we will take cyanides. When cyanides undergo reduction in presence of sodium and ethanol, it is also one of the reducing agents. Sodium and ethanol can act as a reducing agent. Okay, so here 4 hydrogens required for this reduction. In the 2 hydrogens added to the carbon and 2 hydrogens added to the nitrogen. So the 2 pi bonds present between carbon and nitrogen involves in breakage. 2 hydrogens added to the nitrogen, 2 more are added to the carbon atom, then we will get RCH2NH2 or CH2NH2 as the final product. Okay, now the next reduction is for acetamides. Acetamides can also undergo reduction to form amines. So acetamide, this is the general representation of acid amines, or we can also call it as acetamides. When this acetamide undergo reduction in presence of lithium aluminum hydride, so what is reduction? Addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygens. So totally 4 hydrogens are required. In that 4 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens takes up this oxygen and eliminates as H2O. Okay, then remaining 2 hydrogens are added to this carbon atom. We will get RCH2NH2 as the amine. Okay, now the next one from carbonyl compound. Carbonyl compound is nothing but either aldehyde or ketone, but here I have taken general representation of aldehydes. So both aldehydes and ketones together known as carbonyl compounds, but here I have taken an example of aldehyde to explain this reaction. When this aldehyde undergo reaction with ammonia, okay, this is ammonia, NH2 plus H is called NH3. So this NH3 undergo reaction with aldehyde, loses H2O, converts into imine. So first what happens? Oxygen here and 2 hydrogens here together eliminates as H2O. What is left? NH. This NH is added to the double bonded carbon of aldehyde, converts into CH double bond NH. This is called imine. Now this imine undergo reduction in presence of nickel or hydrogenation in presence of nickel. So in these 2 hydrogens, one is added to this carbon, other one is added to nitrogen by breaking this pi bond. So then we will get RCH2NH2. So this RCH2NH2 is known as amine. So by this reduction of carbonyl compounds also finally we got amines. Okay, so primary amines are obtained. If you want secondary amines, we will take ketone. Okay, so when ketone undergo reaction with the ammonia, it can be converted into finally this amines. Now we'll see the next one. So that is about the third preparation by using reduction. Now next preparation is by using hydrolysis. What is meant by hydrolysis? Addition of water is called hydrolysis. So in this hydrolysis many reactions are there, in that we'll see one by one. First one, Hofmann's bromamide reaction. Okay, Hofmann's bromamide reaction. So in that Hofmann's bromamide reaction, acetamide, just now we have seen the general formula of acetamide. That acetamide undergo reaction with bromine and base, that is KOH. So it reacts with bromine and KOH. It can be converted into RNH2. So the CO part is completely removed and converted into RNH2. In this case we will get an amine which is containing one carbon atom less than the reactant. If you see in the reactant we can see this carbon, whereas in the product that carbon is missed. So that we will get an amine which is containing one less carbon atom than the reactant by using this Hofmann's bromamide reaction, so that we can also call it as degradation reaction. Okay, we can also call it as degradation reaction. And understand, in this degradation reaction the CO2 part is completely removed, RNH2 is obtained as the amine, and the two bromines whatever are present here, those two will take the hydrogen, potassium, 2 potassium can be released in the form of 2 KBr. Okay, and the CO will take 2 more oxygens here, converts into CO3, added to K2, still 2 more potassiums are there, right? So those 2 potassiums react with CO3, converts into K2CO3, and what are left now? 4 hydrogens and 2 oxygens. Those 4 hydrogens and 2 oxygens combine together to remove as the 2H2O. Okay, so that is about Hofmann's bromamide reaction, which is very important one. Okay, so in this case we can prepare primary amine which is containing one less carbon atom than the reactant what we have preferred. Now we'll move on to the next one. So next one is from isocyanates. Even isocyanates undergo hydrolysis process in presence of an acid. Okay, when isocyanate, cyanide is RCN, isocyanate means RNC. This is called isocyanate. When isocyanate undergo hydrolysis in presence of an acid, so then they can be converted into amines. Okay, so in this case we can see the presence of hydrogen and oxygen. So the water is containing 2 hydrogen, each molecule containing 1 hydrogen, 1 OH. Here we have taken 2 water molecules, 2 protons and 2 hydroxide ions will be present. So when this bond involves in breakage, 2 hydrogens added to the nitrogen converts to RNH2. Now what is left? Carbon and 2 OH groups. In that they are converted into HCHCOOH. So formic acid is formed. Formic acid is formed. So this is about hydrolysis of isocyanates. Now we'll see alkyl isocyanates, cyanates. This is cyanide and this is cyanate. There is a lot of difference between these two. So cyanide and cyanate. So in this reaction, when RN double bond C double bond O, this is called alkyl isocyanate. When this undergo reaction with KOH, so it can be converted into RNH2 plus K2CO3. Here exactly the bond breaks, CO separates. Okay, 2 hydrogens whatever is present in the 2 KOH added to the nitrogen converts to RNH2 plus what is left? 2 oxygens. When these 2 oxygens are added to CO, converts it into CO3. So that CO3 is added to 2 potassium, converts into K2CO3. So even in this method, finally what we have prepared? Amine as the final product. Now we'll see the next one. Now the next reaction, Leucard reaction. So in this Leucard reaction, ketone undergo reaction with ammonium salt of acid converts into aldehyde and amine, So even in this Leucard reaction, aldehyde or ketone converts into one of the formaldehyde and converts into amines as the final product. Next one is Ritter reaction. In this Ritter reaction, this alcohol containing trimethyl group or trialkyl group undergo reaction with HCN in presence of concentrated H2SO4. It loses H2O, and this can be converted into isocyanates R3C N triple bond C. To this N triple bond C is added. This is called isocyanates. So this isocyanates undergo hydrolysis process. Okay, isocyanates undergo hydrolysis process. Hydrogen is added to the nitrogen, OH is added to the carbon. Then we will get R3CN, and hydrogen is added, H we will get single bond, C double bond OH. So finally we got this as the intermediate. When this undergo again reaction with the base, that is OH minus, R3CNH is added by hydrogen. Here the bond breaks. R3CNH is added by hydrogen of the base. HCOO is added by oxygen of the base, converts into HCOO minus. HCOO minus is formate ion and amines is obtained here finally as the product. Okay, now the next one, Smith reaction. In the Smith reaction, acid undergo reaction with ammonia in presence of dilute H2SO4. So what happens here? So CO2 is removed. This COO is removed as the CO2, and in this ammonia, one hydrogen I am separating. This hydrogen and this hydrogen together eliminates as H2. Now what is left? NH2. This NH2 is added to R group, converts into RNH2, that is amine is obtained. Now Curtius reaction. In this Curtius method, RCOCl when react with sodium nitrite. When RCOCl react with sodium nitrite in presence of NaCl, it converts into RC double bond O N3. Okay, that means Na and Cl together eliminates as NaCl. Now N3 is added to RC double bond ON, we will get this product RC double bond O N3. When it undergo hydrolysis process, RNH2 is obtained. Okay, RNH2. That means this CO is removed. The CO will take one oxygen, can be removed in the form of RCO2. RCO plus O removed in the form of CO2. These two hydrogens whatever are there added to one nitrogen converts into RNH2. And two more nitrogens released in the form of N2 gas. Okay, this is about the Curtius method. Now next one, decarboxylation of amino acids. This is amino acid general representation. So this amino acid undergo reaction or heating with the barium oxide, loses CO2. Okay, when this CO2 is removed, when it reacts with barium oxide, hydrogen is directly added to this carbon, converts into RCH2NH2, that is amine is formed as the final method, final product. This is in the case of decarboxylation of amino acids. Next, last and most important method of preparation of primary amine is Gabriel-Thalamide reaction. So this is the most important method where you can prepare only primary amine. Okay, in this method first we want to take thalamide. So this is thalamide. When this thalamide undergo reaction with KOH, so hydrogen of this nitrogen, OH of this KOH removed as in the form of H2O, and potassium is added to the nitrogen, we will get potassium thalamide. Once this potassium thalamide react with alkyl iodide, this potassium and iodine eliminates as Ki and alkyl group is added to the nitrogen, we will get alkyl thalamide. Okay, alkyl thalamide is obtained. Now this alkyl thalamide undergo hydrolysis process. That means exactly at this bond breakage will takes place. Water containing hydrogen and OH. Hydrogen is added to nitrogen, OH minus is added to CO. We will get COOH. In the same manner, even here this bond involves in breakage. Nitrogen is added by hydrogen, OH is added by carbon. So then we will get COOH and COOH. And here what is left? RNH2. This RNH2 is nothing but our product what we have prepared, that is amine. So amine is obtained and by releasing this phthalic acid. This is phthalic acid. Phthalic acid is removed by forming amines as the final product. So these are the few important methods of preparation of amines. Okay, many we have discussed. So by using all these methods we can prepare amines. Now we'll see the next one, that is physical properties. So there are general physical properties of these amines. In that the first one, physical state. So all lower aliphatic amines or gases. We are discussing about aliphatic amines. All lower aliphatic amines are gases. So intermediate intermediate aliphatic amines, that means they are not lower and they are not higher. Intermediate aliphatic amines are liquid in state. Whereas higher amines are nothing but which is containing longest carbon chain. Those are called higher aliphatic amines. They are completely solids. That means whenever the molecular weight increases, gaseous formation changes to liquid and solid state. So that is about the physical state. Next, solubility. So solubility is always inversely proportional to the molecular weight of amines. Once the molecular weight increases, solubility decreases. That means lower aliphatic amines are completely soluble in water, whereas higher aliphatic amines containing longest carbon chain and high molecular weight, which is insoluble or partially soluble in the water. That means this solubility is always depends upon the molecular weight. Once molecular weight increases, solubility automatically decreases. Next, boiling point. If you observe boiling point of three different types of amines, primary amines are having greater boiling point than the secondary, than the tertiary. So here you can see primary and secondary are containing higher boiling point than the tertiary amine, because in primary and secondary we can see presence of hydrogen on the nitrogen atom. We can see the presence of hydrogen on the nitrogen atom, which involved in hydrogen bond formation. Okay, because of making intermolecular hydrogen bonds, the molecular weight increases. To break all such bonds, it requires more amount of energy. Then automatically the boiling points also increases. Whereas in the case of tertiary amine, there is no hydrogen on the nitrogen, which is impossible to make intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Thereby its boiling points are less. Okay, boiling points of primary and secondary amines are very high due to the presence of intermolecular hydrogen bonds. That is about the physical properties. Next, about chemical properties. In that the most important chemical property is basic nature. So these amines are having basic nature. When we can say a compound is having basic nature, if it has the property to donate a lone pair of electrons or the property to accept a proton, then such type of molecules are said to be amines. Even here amines are having, an amine nitrogen is having a lone pair of electrons, so it tries to donate this lone pair of electrons and accept the proton or electrophile. It accepts the electrophile, so that we can say amines are having a basic nature. This is amine which can act as a nucleophile. It tries to attract the electrophile. Okay, there are two factors which can influence the basic nature of amines. First one is positive inductive effect. Next one is the steric hindrance. So positive inductive effect and basic strength is always directly proportional with each other. Once the positive inductive effect, number of positive inductive effect groups increases, automatically the basic strength also increases. Once the number of positive inductive effect groups increases, basic strength also increases. Next, steric hindrance. Steric hindrance is nothing but the presence of bulky groups on the nitrogen atom of amine. So when a bulky group is present on the nitrogen atom, so those bulky groups will not allow this lone pair of electrons to donate. Okay, thereby the basic nature gets decreases. So listen carefully. If simple groups present on nitrogen, then readily this nitrogen donates this electron pair and accepts the proton. If suppose bulky groups on nitrogen, all the three groups which are present are bulky, then those bulky groups surrounds this lone pair of electrons present on nitrogen, which will not allow this lone pair of electrons for the donation purpose. thereby the basic nature gets decreases. That's why steric hindrance is always said to be inversely proportional to basic strength. So once steric hindrance increases or number of bulky groups increases, basic strength automatically decreases. Okay, now here I have given two important orders for the basic strength of methylamine and ethylamine. So both are examples of aliphatic amines. If you see in methylamine, secondary amine, because on nitrogen two methyl groups are present, so we can say secondary amine. Secondary amine is more basic than primary. Primary is more basic than tertiary than ammonia. So here tertiary I have written on the third place because on nitrogen all the three groups whatever is present are bulky in nature. Due to steric hindrance, what happens? The basic strength gets decreases. That's why secondary amine is more basic than primary. Primary is more basic than tertiary. Okay, so now if you see the same basic strength in the case of ethylamines, so there is a little change. Secondary amines, then primary, then ammonia, then tertiary amine which is containing ethyl group. Just these two places gets changes. Okay, you just remember. So this is about the basic strength of amines, which is very important concept. From this concept there is a chance to ask a question for even objective. Okay, and pKb values and Ka values are also we can, based on that pKb and Kb values also, based on that we can explain basic strength. So basic strength is directly proportional to Kb value. Okay, dissociation constant of a base. So basic strength is always directly proportional to Kb. Once Kb value increases, basic strength also increases. If you see pKb value, basic strength is inversely proportional to pKb value. Once pKb value increases, or any amine which is containing highest pKb value, then the basic strength decreases. pKb value increases, basic strength decreases. pKb value decreases, basic strength automatically increases. This is about the relationship between basic strength and Kb value, pKb value. Now we will see few other chemical properties. So next chemical property is hydration. So hydration is nothing but addition of water. When water is added to amine, it can be converted into ammonium salt. So water is containing two ions, H plus and OH minus ion. As I already told you, nitrogen is containing a lone pair of electron which can abstract the proton. When it abstracts the proton, NH2 converts to NH3. Due to losing lone pair of electron on nitrogen, there will be a positive charge and OH minus is subtracted. We will get the quaternary ammonium salt of hydroxide is obtained. This is hydration. Next one, alkylation. When amine undergo reaction with alkyl halide, okay, for our convenience and separating this hydrogen. Hydrogen here, halogen here together eliminates as HX, and R group is added to nitrogen. We will get R2NH. Two alkyl groups are attached, R2NH. When again this react with RX, what happens? Hydrogen here, halogen here eliminates as HX, and R is added to nitrogen. On nitrogen already two R groups are present. By adding one more, it converts to R3N. Now when again it reacts with alkyl halide, one more alkyl halide, nitrogen is now having lone pair of electron. R plus is added to nitrogen, converts to R4N. R3 is added by one more R, converts to R4N. Because of losing electrons, nitrogen gets the positive charge which attract the X minus. We will get finally quaternary ammonium salt as the final product in alkylation of amines. Next, another chemical reaction is acylation or acetylation. In this acetylation, amines react with acetyl chloride. So hydrogen of amine react with Cl, eliminates as HCl. Okay, and COCH3 reacts with RNH, we will get RNHCOCH3. This is called N-alkyl. On nitrogen, alkyl group is attached. N-alkyl acetamide is formed. Okay, remember in today's session I am explaining only synopsis related to amines. In next session we will see about the bits. You can try to solve the bits based upon the synopsis what I have explained in today's session. Okay, so next one, benzoylation. So benzoylation is also known as Schotten-Baumann reaction. This is called Schotten-Baumann reaction. So in this Schotten-Baumann reaction, amine react with benzoyl chloride. The same above reaction, here HCl is removed, RNH is added to COC6H5. Then we will call it as N-alkyl benzenamide. Okay, N-alkyl benzenamide is formed. Next, acidic behavior of amines. So this acidic behavior of amines, when amine react with Na, what happens? Sodium is having positive charge, is attracted towards the nitrogen. So then we will get N-alkyl sodamide is obtained. N-alkyl sodamide is obtained. Next one, with Grignard reagent. What is Grignard reagent? RMgX is called Grignard reagent. When Grignard reagent react with amine, NH is removed from here. From amine, NH is removed. Hydrogen is added to R group. We will get hydrocarbon, that is RH. We will get hydrocarbon, that is RH. And RMgX is added by NH. RMgX is added by NH. We will get RNHMgX. RNHMgX as the final product. That means whenever Grignard reagent react with amine, it can be converted into hydrocarbons. Okay. And the next chemical reaction, most important chemical reaction, is Hinsberg reaction. A reaction with Hinsberg reagent. What is Hinsberg reagent? C6H5SO2Cl is called Hinsberg reagent, which is called benzene sulfonyl chloride. Benzene sulfonyl chloride, or we can also call it as Hinsberg's reagent. So this is one of the method which is used to distinguish three different types of amines. So we have primary, secondary and tertiary amines. These three types of amines can be distinguished or separated by using this, differentiated by using this Hinsberg reagent. So benzene sulfonyl chloride is known as Hinsberg reagent. If you take primary amine, this is primary amine. When primary amine react with benzene sulfonyl chloride, hydrogen of primary amine and Cl of benzene sulfonyl chloride is eliminated as HCl. Now what we got? RNHSO2Cl. RNHSO2C6H5. This is N-alkyl benzene sulfonamide. So benzene sulfonamide, N-alkyl benzene sulfonamide is formed. If you take secondary amine, again hydrogen of amine react with Cl, eliminates as HCl. What we will get? R2NSO2C6H5. R2NSO2C6H5. N, N dialkyl benzene sulfonamide. N, N dialkyl, because on nitrogen two alkyl groups are present. N, N dialkyl benzene sulfonamide is obtained. Okay. If you take tertiary amine do not have hydrogen on the nitrogen atom, then it will not ready to release HCl. There is no reaction with the tertiary amine. That means by observing the product, we can say whether the given amine is primary, secondary or tertiary. If there is no reaction with benzene sulfonyl chloride, then that is said to be tertiary amine. On reaction of benzene sulfonyl chloride with an amine, if you get N-alkyl benzene sulfonamide, that confirms that presence of primary amine. If you get N, N dialkyl benzene sulfonamide, then the given amine is said to be secondary. Okay, that is about the Hinsberg's reaction. So Hinsberg's reagent is used to distinguish three different types of amines. Next one, Mannich reaction. In this Mannich reaction, when amine react with aldehyde and ketone, it loses H2O. Amine react with both aldehyde and ketone, it releases H2O. So hydrogen, one of the hydrogen from here, okay, oxygen from here, and one hydrogen. We can also write CH3 as CH2H. One hydrogen from here eliminates as H2O. So then what we will get? RNHCH2. On carbon two hydrogens are present. RNHCH2, CH2, COCH3. So this is called a base. Which base? It is obtained through Mannich reaction. We will call it as Mannich base. Is formed as the final product. Next one, carbylamine reaction. Even this is said to be the very important reaction. Okay, carbylamine reaction is also most important reaction. When primary amine react with chloroform, CHCl3 is nothing but chloroform. When primary amine react with chloroform in KOH on heating, it can be converted into isocyanates. Okay, this is isocyanate. Bad smelling, offensive odor of isocyanates are obtained, or bad smelling isocyanates are obtained by releasing KCl and H2O, and that reaction is called carbylamine. This isocyanate is also known as carbylamine. Isocyanate is also known as carbylamine reaction. So in this reaction, finally carbylamine is formed as the final product, so we can call it as carbylamine reaction. Okay, when primary amine react with chloroform in KOH on heating, it converts into carbylamine, which is also known as isocyanates. So this is about the few important physical, chemical and preparation methods of aliphatic amines. In next session, we will see the bits related to this chapter as well as about aromatic amines. You just try to solve the questions present in your booklet based on this topic. Okay, based on aliphatic amines, preparations and properties, you try to solve the questions present in the booklet based on this concept, whatever I have explained.